Good evening, everyone. My name is Larry Lipsy, and I'm going to be giving my presentation on the performance management system, how I chose to evaluate and assess and provide some recommendations. Before I actually get started, I just want to caveat, I'm currently on the road for work, so if you hear any crazy noises or any background noise, just please excuse it. Apologize ahead of time. So getting into the actual presentation piece, so I chose to take a look at the firm that I actually work for. It's a professional service firm, big into tax. It's actually headquartered in London, England. I'm not going to actually divulge the name of the actual firm just because I actually work there, and just any concerns or any liabilities have heavy legal policies. So just going to refer to it as the firm throughout this presentation. The firm actually operates a number of network firms around the globe. So it's about 230,000 people strong, 150 countries. We indulge in tax, assurance, and advisory work. A lot of consulting, heavy into consulting. As you can see, I'm on the road. So the firm is a part of the Big Four. I'm sure some of you have heard of that before. It just has a unique way of doing performance management. It's really heavy paced, really big on behaviors and results driven type of organization. For one of the Big Fours, I think it has probably one of the better culture. Actually, is into big growth of actual individuals. So we see that a lot aligned into the actual performance management system. So taking a look at some of the aspects of their management system, it's actually tied into the strategic business plan of the firm. So the firm's currently in Vision 2020 right now. In their actual Vision 2020, it actually calls out explicitly individuals and teams as a way to grow the firm's revenue. So the firm's biggest asset is people. So having the people actually perform at a high level out at client site is what's going to drive revenue and produce more sales in the long run for the actual firm. The firm's culture statement also highlights just employees' performance and how that actually impacts the actual overall firm as a whole. The role of performance management, the role of performance management in the firm is actually two parts. So I talked about the results driven piece, but it's also a way to evaluate actual employees. It's based on a lot of behavior. A lot of the aspects of the actual performance management system ties in performance, bonuses, rewards, promotion. It's all tied into the actual performance management system. So the firm, unlike a lot of the other consulting firms, the other Big Four, actually stuck with your typical semi-annual performance reviews. A lot of the other firms have went to more of a weekly feedback basis, but the firm found that it's better for them to provide feedback to employees semi-annually. So those are more formals. However, interjected in that, there's actually meetings that occur quarterly, just depending on your actual counselor. It could be quarterly, could be monthly, could be bi-weekly. I actually have a counselor who's really into professional development and growth, so we actually meet twice a month, and then we usually virtually or telephonically, excuse me. And then we actually have once a quarter where we meet with each other. He provides feedback just based on what he knows is going on in the firm, my current rank, where I should be projecting for my for promotion or my actual rating for my bonus. So the firm is really heavy matrix in nature. By that I mean myself, I actually work as a member of a team, so I get feedback from my direct manager or lead. However, when I'm out on engagements, I also report to an engagement partner or an engagement team, so I get feedback from them as well. I like to say that the firm has a 360 approach to actual feedback and how they evaluate performance of employees. By that, what I mean is you get feedback from not only your direct team lead or supervisor within your team, the engagement partners, but also from your peers to your left and right. They provide feedbacks which actually goes into your actual performance rating review at the end of the year. So when we look at the actual force structure of how the firm rates and rewards and does promotion, so the actual end of year assessment, the performance appraisal is actually a performance based appraisal. Uh, by that, what I mean is your actual bonuses and everything come out of there. So the firm has a structure where they rate employees 1 through 5, 1 being pretty low on the scale, 5 being hey superior service. The way superior ratings, the way the firm actually does that is they take the feedback into consideration. Your counselors actually go before a board and present you based off of the feedback. So it's really important that you and your counselor are in sync, and the counselor is able to paint the picture of who you are as a person and everything that you've done. So the firm doesn't have a force rating system; it's more absolute on the surface. However, they don't want to give out 4s and 5s to every employee, because that means there's no delineation of who's doing what and who's performing above the standards. So the firm actually puts out what we call the SBR, which is situation behavior result. So this is the way that you actually get feedback from your peers, from your supervisors, from your engagement partners. From that, that really defines the criteria of how you're going to be rated. So the firm actually does a good job of putting out, hey, this is what the SBR criteria are for being rated a 4, a 5. This is what's going to happen if you. This is how you end up with a 2, and this is the criteria to stay above a 3. Generally, you want to stay above a 3 for your end of year performance review. So once they actually go before the board, the reason I say it's not a force ranking schedule, but it is a little bit, is because when each rank is evaluated, each person within a rank is evaluated before the board to see who's actually going to get the 4s, who gets the 5s. Because sometimes raters actually give their counselees a 4 or 5, but the board has a threshold to say, hey, yep, that's what a 4 actually looks like, or hey, no, this is really a 3, not a 4. So all of this is communicated back to the employees after a process, after about 3 or 4 weeks process. From that process, you understand, okay, you're a 4 or 5, you'll be promoted, won't be promoted, etc. About 3 to 4 weeks after that, we actually receive a performance bonus appraisal. So they'll say, hey, based on your rating, based on the market, and across the firm, this is what you're going to actually be getting for a bonus. So it's all behavior based, a little bit of a comparative analysis that the board does to actually rate each individual, and then it ties back into the bonus. They actually use that for not only bonus behavior, but also for administrative purposes as well. So this is the way that they can say, okay, this is where the firm's going to sit. This is, we're tracking the data of, hey, these are the certifications that you have to get. These are the things that you need to track to excel and go further in the firm. Based on the things that I've seen so far at the firm, I think it's probably one of the better performance appraisal systems. So I was in the military for 9 years, and it reminds me a lot of the military structure, just not as forced and not as tough and as rough on the actual employees. So some of the things I actually gave it an overall B as a performance appraisal system. I think most people are generally happy at the end of the day with the actual results of their performance appraisal, because they actually know, hey, yeah, I did the work, or no, hey, I need to step up based off of feedback from my counselor, feedback from my engagement partners. Some of the areas that I think that the firm can modify, and one of the recommendations I gave is actually looking at the bonus structure. I think after a while, people may not be as enticed because you're not getting the high bonuses every year. So they may need to look at a way to keep that competitive with other companies in the market. Additionally, I recommend the frequency of feedback. Instead of it being mandated quarterly or semi-annually, probably do it a lot more for the month bi-weekly, because that's what I do with my counselor, and it actually works really well. I also think that the firm should probably use a little bit of forced system where they say, hey, top 20 percent are going to get a 5, top 40 are going to get a 4 rating, X amount can get a 3 rating, and if you're below the average, then you're going to receive a 2 rating. Um, so that's kind of my recommendations for the system. I only had 10 minutes to do this, so I think I jam-packed everything in there. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and thank you.